Hey there, everybody. This is Iman, that Philly wholesaler chick, and I have the pleasure of having doing an interview here with Tampa, Florida's own Sandy Cesare. And in today's video, we're going to actually discuss the importance of how building and nurturing relationships can really impact your business. In all aspects of real estate, but the blog here is realestatewholesalingexplained.com. So as it relates to your real estate wholesaling business, and before we get into that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information about Sandy. Sandy has been licensed since she's coming up on her 10-year anniversary, June 6th. Correct, Sandy? It'll be 10 years.
Correct.
But she's been investing since 2003, and as I mentioned, Sandy's from she lives in the Tampa, Florida area, and she's got a couple of awesome sites that I'll mention at the end for those who may be looking to invest with Sandy or to be coached by Sandy. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Sandy. So Sandy, if you could just share with everyone pretty much, I guess, how you got started in real estate. Because Sandy's not, just a wholesaler. Sandy's also a broker. She's going the gamut here with real estate as a loan officer, mortgages, other aspects of real estate. She's studying. She's in the process of studying for a broker's exam. So, if you want to list some property, Sandy's your woman. So, with that, Sandy, I'm going to turn it over to you. And just give us some background information about who you are, how you got started, and then we'll get into the details there.
I decided in 2002. Actually, you know what happened? When I first moved to Tampa in '99, I was 18 years old. I wanted to get my real estate license, and I took the class. I was on a payment plan, and then the last day, I was short $45, and I didn't have it. And they're like, well, you can't take the final exam if you don't have the money. I said, okay, sure, fine. So I went back 2 years later. I paid them up front. I gave them the whole money up front. So I went ahead and took my real estate. Got the license, started off as, an agent, and then 6 months later in December, I decided to become a loan officer. That was always in my plan to, become a loan officer, but it was for further in the future, not that soon. But I had this guy, he found my card, one of my real estate cards somewhere. I used to go put my cards everywhere. And he called me. He said, you really need to, become a loan officer. You like it better, whatever. So he bothered me so much about it. I said, sure, fine, why not? So I go to work in his office. And for the first month, he was training me, and I never felt so dumb in my life. Because as he was explaining everything, I just wasn't getting it. I was not getting it. He just kept yelling at me, and he was not the best teacher at all. So I go to work for this other office, and, they had a little training session going on. And during the training session, the guy that was doing the training, he was like, well, Sandy, you know this stuff. You know that? I said, I do. Really? So every question's like, you know that? I said, really? So anyways, from then on, I became the loan officer. I did loan for many years. And then I figured out how to, get money. I was like, oh, I know how to get money. So let me buy my own properties. And, I started attending all the RIA meetings in town and, doing whatever I needed to do to learn. And so got into investing, got my first, few rental properties, managed to do it with no money down. And then I got into rehabbing, and I just kind of, went in, dived in head first.
Right.
So that's how I got started.
Okay, awesome. And, again, Sandy, for those who don't know, Sandy, I see her very often on Facebook. I can't remember. It wasn't maybe a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago. She's cashing big checks, and it's awesome. It's great to see, we're in a male-dominated industry, and it's awesome. It's really awesome to see other women rather, who are very visible in this business and who are, very successful. And Sandy is very successful. If you're watching this video, and you're not friends with Sandy, Sandy is definitely somebody you want to friend up on Facebook and get to know and watch, and somebody to learn from too, as well. I mean, I'm, really, really impressed with the things I see. So,
thank you.
That you're welcome. It's all true. So, but
yeah, you just have to go for it. You know what I mean? Because there's always challenges. Don't get me wrong, and I learn stuff every single day, but you can't sit here and wait for everything to be perfect to take action. You just got to take action, and you know what? Experience is going to teach you a lot, good and bad. And the bad are not always bad. You can get a lot from, when something happens that don't quite go your way. That's just a learning experience right there,
Absolutely.
And that's worth, it is. So.
Yes, mistakes are, it all depends on your perspective. Mistakes can, can be, very valuable to the learning process and what we do.
If anybody that's trying to do anything, they're going to make mistakes. Absolutely. The only way not to make mistakes is not to do anything.
Absolutely. You're right, because this stuff is not intuitive. You know what I mean? We didn't come here, didn't come here born with knowing, a lot of, there's so many different things, that we run up against, that you've never have experienced before. So, it's definitely not a cookie cutter business. Of course, there's, general things, some basic things that are never going to change, but, circumstances and situations, and especially if you're a wholesaler and you're in this business, you're dealing with problem properties, there's going to be, you have to answer some people's problems.
Exactly. Problem properties, problem sellers, problem buyers. There's always the problem. Absolutely. That's why we get paid.
Right.
To solve those problems.
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely.
So, every deal is different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same basic concept, yes, but every deal is different. And things come up sometime last minute. You just have to, solve them. You have to be able to, think outside of the box sometimes just to make a deal happen.
Right.
You have to be able to bring people together. You're always dealing with something,
Absolutely.
So,
which I think is a great segue into our topic, because when you don't know, you have to have humility enough to reach out to people and ask for help. And, I'm sure, I'm sure that, as I said at the outset of this video, that, today's topic is about, the value and importance of building relationships, not only building relationships, but nurturing those relationships, and how, so if you could, speak to us, Sandy, about the value and importance of building relationships and how it's impacted your business and how it's gotten you, I guess, a lot further than if you hadn't. So
yeah, it's true, because you can't really have an ego in this business, and a lot of people do, because, and I don't care who they are, there's always some kind of answer or question that they have that they don't know, and they have to reach out to somebody to get the answer. All the time. You might see even so-called gurus or whoever, they don't know everything, and not downplaying gurus. It's great to be able to share your knowledge and share information with people, but the thing is, nobody has answer to everything, so you always have to reach out to other people for help. Because, it's some crazy stuff sometimes that comes up and I've never even heard of. Guess what? I got to make a phone call to somebody and say, hey, do you know anything about this? Can you help out with that? Mm-hmm. So, but as we were talking about building relationships, even when I first got into the business, just building key relationship with just, the key people, some key people, and that will send you the most of your business. Mm-hmm. When people they connect with you, because a lot of time everybody want to make a quick buck. Okay? Everybody want to make a quick buck, but you got to learn how to connect with people. The whole saying of people do business with someone that they like and trust, it's true. Mm-hmm. It's true. If somebody trusts you, you do what you say you're going to do. When you say you're going to do it, then people want to deal with you, So most of my business came from a key people. I don't do this crazy mass marketing. 90% of my business, is referrals, and I do very well with that. So you have to learn how to nurture that person, and it's not about using people. It's a mutual benefit, It's mutual, because nobody people will send you stuff just because sometimes, hey, you know what? I don't have time for this, so here you go. That's great, but that doesn't happen when you're just pushing people off or you're just trying to use somebody. You have to learn how to build really solid relationship with people because, you just don't know how valuable it is. Just like my title company, my rehab, a lot of people, I've known them from years since I've been into this business, and people don't want to hear nothing about building a relationship because it's not, okay, you're going to wake up and make some quick $5,000. It's not like a miracle work thing, but really, truthfully, it is. You know how many times I'll sit down, like I'm working on a package of, 15 deals right now, 15 profit, but guess what? It was just a phone call. Did I have to market for that? No. Just a phone call, hey Sandy, we've dealt with each other, blase, can you go ahead, can we work this thing together? Sure, these deals drop into your lap literally, just because you've taken the time to really connect with a person, you've dealt with them, they've dealt with you. It's a mutual benefit, So, I can't even really, I don't know, it's so important. It's so important. It'll make a difference, like all the difference. The difference between $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 a year. Build some solid relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That'll make all the difference in the world.
Right. You're absolutely right.
People have faith in you. They have trust in you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know what I mean? So, it's very true. We're talking about that beforehand, how important it is. Justin, like you said, doing what you say you're going to do. And so many, unfortunately, there are far too many of us who go over that stuff with a minimum of concern. Like, if you say you're going to return a phone call. Even when it comes to like dealing with sellers, and your buyers, because it's two sides of the same coin.
And even your title company, like my title girl, sometimes how hard it is for me to be able to just drive to the office, just being able to come to my house, just to meet me, I sign all the paperwork. That's what it's about. Save you time, save you money. I could be working on something. It's like, okay, fine, I'll come to you,
Right.
Why? Because I've been dealing with her for years. I deal with a couple of them, and I've known them for a long time. But I can be out of town, and I can still close a deal. And it's not a heartache or a headache because just being able to deal with them on a regular, like we're practically friends,
Right.
So it just makes life so much easier.
Right. So you said earlier that you attribute 90% of the deals that you do, whether it be wholesaling deals, I guess rehab deals.
Wholesaling, rehabbing, short selling, whatever it is, it's because people are calling me constantly about a deal. Right.
And is a direct result of the relationships that you've built with people.
Exactly.
Right. Now you and I talked about the fact that, myself, you and I were talking about it, I know there's different, social networking sites. Me personally, I'm a big Facebook person. I just like it. And, but, I believe, and it was never strategic. You know what I'm saying? I've just built relationships. When you take interest in other people take notice of stuff like that. And of course,
exactly.
Everything we're talking about is, of course you want to be genuine and authentic. It's not just because what's in it for me, but I truly believe when you come from a place where, it's really about helping other people and how you can, how you can be of benefit to other people. Just
exactly. And that's the other thing, because a lot of time, a lot of people are on guard because a lot of time people are always looking to take something from them. I try very hard not to come from that place. Actually, I don't come from that place. I'm going to be genuine because right now I don't want nothing from you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want nothing, just like a genuine conversation and genuine caring and genuinely wishing you well in whatever it is that you're doing. And sometimes, just being able to motivate each other and push each other, whoever it is you're dealing with, just be genuine in it, So that whole, being fake or pretending to just, have interest in someone because I'm looking for something, I try not to do that at all. You know, because and people sometimes they'll figure that out anyways. But just, building relationship from that genuine place where you're not looking to get anything out of that person, Yeah, So it's like wherever I go, wherever I'm at, is if I'm like talking to a person, just meeting them, it's like I don't want nothing from you. And you know what? And people, you'd be surprised, people can feel that and they open up.
Right.
And they open up. And so, and you've made a friend maybe for life, right then and there.
Right. So, in terms of building relationships, I know you said 90% of your deals come by way of referrals, but for that 10% that don't, for example, when you're speaking with sellers, if you can speak to that as well as your buyers, I guess, how could you share with everybody how building relationships with sellers and buyers that you speak with to get the deal?
Well, I do the same thing. I follow really the same practice. I try to come from a place of, okay, well, let's see. First of all, we have to see what is it that you want? What are you trying to get out of this? And then, of course, as an investor, we work with numbers. The numbers have to make sense. So if we can come from a place of, okay, well, we're going to analyze the numbers. We're going to see, we look at comps, we look at everything, repairs, all of that, right? And then now we're going to talk about what are your concerns and what is it that you're looking from this deal. And, and sometimes you deal with sellers, a lot and they're way off. Way off. You just have to be honest with them. Mm-hmm. Look, I understand this is what you want, but here's why I cannot pay you that. Mm-hmm. And then in a lot of time, of course, sometimes you get the stubborn ones, but I try to come with sellers or buyers or whatever with that place of, just being genuine. If I can get you what you need and I can get what I want, it's not about beating them down, Not for me, at least. I know some people do that. But let's just come from a place of what makes sense, first of all, and then we go from there.
Right. I hear you. Absolutely,
Yeah.
But, so is it possible, Sandy, to kind of maybe walk us through maybe, the rare, moments that you have to, what I'm saying, speak with sellers? I mean, in terms of what a typical conversation may be like, as it relates to, building that relationship with that person for that person to feel comfortable.
Well, I tell you, I was doing a short sale, for example. Mm-hmm. I was doing a short sale. It's a house that's, not too far from here. Mm-hmm. But, this is just the basic thing. I short sell this man's house, right? He had moved away. His wife is ill, whatever. But, just being able to connect with them on that level. So as far as negotiating the deal, it didn't matter because I'm really negotiating with the bank. Actually, I bought the house, I rehabbed it, sold it, right? But listen, one of the guy that was interested in buying this property, he happened to have grown up in that neighborhood, and we're talking. I was like, Mr. Such and such. He was like, yeah, girl over here. He kind of like practically like raised me. So I called him. I put him on the phone together. And he was like, oh, man, that's great. Thank you. He was just like all ecstatic about it. But then so now we have that relationship. Guess what? He sent me two more deals. So this type of stuff happens all the time. But just being able to say, hey, and then, the deal, we've already closed the deal and everything. I'm like, hey, such and such is here. Want to talk to you. They haven't seen each other for years. This guy is like in his 40s now with grown kids, and he's remembering, how the old man used to just chase after them.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's just genuine things like that. Like I have another seller. She's in her 80s. She does not have a voicemail or not. She just has a house phone with nothing. You know what I did? I said, look, you need some kind of voicemail, something. I went to Walmart. I bought her a voicemail machine. She appreciated that. It's $14. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, just genuine, If they, just a drive to Walmart, dropped it off for her here, you can use this,
Right. You're right, Sandy.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's important. Like you said, sometimes, we fail to realize it's small things like that that really go a long way with people. Like the fact that no, you didn't have to do that. No, you didn't have to.
No, I didn't.
Reconnect the gentleman with the guy that, his sister didn't reason him, stuff like that. It's like, wow, she's a really nice person. And the fact that you did that, not, maybe this will help me to get the deal done. Let me go buy her an answer machine and make myself look like this great person. No, that's just because of who you are. And when you come
it's not even about that at all. It's a deal. If it happens, it happens. If it's not, it's still basic, good human, connection,
Absolutely.
And, following Sunday, she cooked me a big plate.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, but I have a ton of those stories because it's just, I try to connect. Sometimes you're not able to connect with some people, and that's okay too. Right. That's fine. Right. But, you come from that genuine place, a lot of time you'll be surprised.
Absolutely. Right, absolutely. So I really, are there anything you would like to share, maybe, Sandy, with everybody that, it's kind of hard with this particular topic to say, do this, and this. You just have to be yourself. But if there's something.
And you know what? That's very important about being yourself, because I know there are tons of courses out there. There's a ton of people selling a lot of stuff. So people can get confused into which direction am I going to go. And I know in the time we're living in, it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people, and people may have lost money and they're trying to get back on their feet. Sometimes you just got to do it. You have to plan. Make a plan and then just go for it. That's what I would say, because, I've lost my butt too, and, all hell broke loose with the economy. But you just, if I could say anything to people is don't let those things just stop you. You just gotta go for it. It's not gonna be perfect. So don't wait till everything gets perfect to take action. You just gotta take action, Nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. And it's great. Do the courses, learn what you need to learn, but then you have to make move, and you have to get somebody that's going to help you throughout the process, And that's the best thing I could say.
Right. So, that coupled with the fact that, relationship building is key. It's key, again, not, you don't want to just come, let me be so focused on that, meaning, what's in it for me type thing, but just, we're in a relationship business. It's a people business that we're in. You know what I mean? We're dealing with people's, circumstances and situations, especially when you're dealing with, if you're wholesaling, a lot of problem properties, and with problem properties, there are people that are living in there.
Come.
Right.
Just because, like you see, we're making money and we're doing this, don't mean we didn't have problems. It wasn't like all just good and gravy. You're gonna have issues. You're gonna have problems, but guess what? You're a problem solver.
Right.
And if you don't know how to solve that problem, then find somebody that can help you solve it. You don't have to rely. I understand this whole self-employed thing. You think you're just for self or by yourself, but no, there are so many people around. Learn how to connect with people. And people are always willing to help for the most part. That's my experience. So you can't just be to yourself and just be the type of person that's just always trying to take. You got to be willing to give. When you're willing to give, and you'll be surprised whenever you have a problem how fast people are willing to help.
Absolutely. And I really, really enjoyed this interview. I'm excited that we were able to, take time out to do this. You are one of my heroes, Sandy.
And you are mine too.
Thank you. So, it really was a great pleasure to be able to sit and speak with you both before and during the interview. So for anybody that's looking to invest with Sandy, okay, you can visit investwithsandy.com. Is that correct, Sandy?
Yeah.
That's the web address. And then Sandy also has mentoring coaching. So if you want to be mentored by Sandy, you can go to coachingbysandy.com. Again, that's coachingbysandy.com. If you're looking to investwithsandy.com. And,
one thing I would like to say about the coaching is, I like to walk you through the process of analyzing your deals because, whether if you, some people I know they're studying wholesaling or short selling or owner financing, being that I have experience in all aspects of this thing from the mortgage side and, the real estate and the rehab. So when you get a deal, what I really like to do is just kind of walk you through the process and help you, find the logic and everything. So now when you get your next deal, you can kind of think it through. You can see what's the best scenario because, real estate, it's, you have to be able to be creative. You have to be able to think outside of the box and figure out the best way. Cause you can get one deal really, and I'm not talking about for people who just focus on one strategy and take it to like 5 really experienced investors and that could give you 5 different scenarios. That could work for that deal. And that's what I like to do is to be able to walk you through that process. Well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this is what you could do? And that way you get to learn so you don't miss out. If you're just looking at one strategy, you could be leaving money on the table. So that's what I'm passionate about when it comes to just to deals, just being able to analyze and let's think outside of the box and see what we can make happen, Yeah.
Awesome, Sandy. So, as you heard Sandy, you're looking for some mentoring, some coaching. Sandy's a wonderful person to learn from, very experienced, has been doing this business for a very long time. So you want to go to coachingbysandy.com. And if people want to connect with you on Facebook, Sandy, what's facebook.com/Sandy Cesare?
I don't even know. I don't think so.
Just look her up on Facebook. You'll find her.
Just look up my name, Sandy Cesare.
There you go. And that's spelled
Cesare.
There you go. They can put it in the search box and find Sandy and request friendship from Sandy. So again, it's been awesome. I really appreciate you, Sandy, for taking the time out and keep doing what you're doing, inspiring and motivating people in general and us women too. So. With that, folks, again, this is realestatewholesalingexplained.com. If you're not a fan, become one. There's a lot of great content there. You also may want to subscribe. There's a opt-in box on a blog next to each blog post. Put your name and your email address in there if you want to, be notified by email. Excuse me. Again, that's realestatewholesalingexplained.com. And that's it, folks. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.